August 19th at 9:00 a.m. to order. We will start by getting the minutes from the July 15th. Has everyone had opportunity to read the minutes from July 15th?
Yes, I have.
Are there any corrections?
No.
If not, can we get a motion to accept the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The second thing on our agenda is the final presentation by the community development. Paul just sent us an email shortly, so here is going to details on that.
Right.
I believe Ms. Thompson is here.
I apologize.
I believe Ms. Thompson is in the meeting.
Yes, sir. This is Pamela Thompson. I wasn't sure if one of our committee liaisons wanted to kick it off, or if you just wanted me to start going over what we're presenting.
I would say go ahead and start.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Pamela Thompson, the Director of Community Development. We have, and I'll turn my camera on. We have three main divisions within our department that are revenue generators for us: the Building Inspections Division, Occupation Tax and Alcohol License, and Planning and Zoning. So we worked with Paul and Ron to go over those areas, and due to the pandemic, we don't think any changes need to take place at this time, but we think it should be evaluated annually. And we do think that when the economy stabilizes, that we should make some changes. Building inspections, by state law, we can charge what it costs to operate our department and run inspections. And we do need to reevaluate that when the economy stabilizes, but at this time we are covering all of our costs and operations. Occupation tax, that's the cost. Sometimes it's called a business license. That's the cost for a person to operate a business in the county. We have had a hard time finding fees of other localities to compare it, and fees are calculated different ways. In this memo that you were provided, we currently charge fees based on employees. They can definitely be increased. Those fees today include all the inspections that are required for a new business. A lot of other localities for those inspections. One area we think that is could be the area we think needs to most be looked at are alcohol licenses. An alcohol license is a privilege. You have to do a background check and meet certain criteria and get permission, because alcohol licenses tend to be very profitable. And the state of Georgia sets maximum fees that are $6,000 a license. We don't charge anywhere near that. We've attached our current alcohol fees for your information, but we do believe that we should increase those fees. Also, we get many requests to allow salons and spas to serve complimentary wine or champagne to customers, and currently our ordinance doesn't allow that, although the state code does allow it. So that is a potential additional revenue stream if you want to recommend it or the board wants to consider it. Planning and zoning, we currently charge less than a lot of our neighbors, and we charge the same flat fee for things whether you're developing a 1/4 acre or 250 acres. And really, some things are the same on inspections, but the larger the property gets, the more time it takes staff to review the plans for that area. So we think that Our fee schedule should be based on a base fee and then per acreage. And we've included that in this memo. We've included our current fees. And then in planning and zoning, we were able to get a summary of other communities. And that's your last sheet. I know I kind of quickly went through it, but if y'all have any questions, or if Paul and Ron want to chime in on something they think I should focus on.
No, I do not. I do believe we need to raise the alcohol license costs and the occupation tax, right? Yeah. And other than that, yeah, I guess during this pandemic, we'll have to wait and see.
Miss Gibbons, you're muted. I can tell you're talking, but you're muted right now.
No wonder. Well, did y'all hear anything I said earlier? So you're suggesting that we increase the alcohol license?
Yes, ma'am. For example, for a restaurant right now, beer only is $865 a year. Malt beverages, beer and wine, is $1,200 a year, and liquor's $3,000 a year. Each of those could be, each of those could be $5,000. So we can prepare, and I apologize I didn't do it today. I can prepare a spreadsheet based on our current alcohol licenses, the difference in revenue, but it would more than double our current revenue if we were to increase licenses. Licenses are good a year at the time. So if y'all were to recommend a change and the board approve it, it would take effect in 2021.
Okay, how does that rate compare to what the city charge?
You know what? I'm gonna real quickly mute myself and check with Trina Rankin, our occupation and alcohol beverage coordinator, and make sure I'm telling you correctly, because I don't want to mistell you. So let me mute myself and find that answer for you.
I see one that says the city charges $2,875.
Hey, I apologize. This is Pam again. The city currently charges for a liquor, beer, and wine license. They charge just less than $1,000 more than us.
Okay, and I understand that we're gonna put everything on hold until after the pandemic and then revisit.
That's my recommendation. I mean, alcohol, one might say that anecdotally, maybe that business has been picked up during the pandemic, but right now we're covering all of our costs and we're generating revenue, and our revenue is the same or a little bit more than it was last year. Our building levels and our planning development levels are the same or a little bit more than this time last year. And I know that the county Board of Commissioners has expressed they don't want to add any extra burden to citizens right now. So we're definitely right now covering our costs, but in the long term, we really do need to look at these fees.
Pamela,
Yes,
this
sir.
is Ed Farley. How do we compare to other counties?
For planning and zoning, we're less in most areas than our neighbors. That being said, a lot of our neighbors are on a sliding scale based on the size of development, which we do think we need to go to. Building inspections, it's really hard to compare because different communities charge based on different things. We charge based on estimated construction costs, and then certain permits are based on like the number of plumbing fixtures and electrical fixtures. But we are the same or lower than most of our neighbors. And again, alcohol, we really had a hard time trying to find other localities, but with the city, we are lower than them.
Do all of us agree to
Okay,
revisit this
thank you.
after the pandemic?
Is going to really hurt the rest.
Sir, Ms. Farley, I couldn't hear you.
I
thought I heard
agree that we should. I agree that we should not increase the alcohol, any of the fees on the alcohol, because restaurants are really struggling at this point, and we should hold off on doing that.
Yeah, I say hold off on all of it right now.
And I think maybe the thing to do is to meet again early in 2021, assess the situation then with an idea towards potentially increasing the fees in the next fiscal year. Does that sound like the best timing if we were to make recommendations to increase?
I say so, Paul.
Yes, sir. And what I
Yes,
can do between
make
now
sure the
and then
minutes
for
reflect
y'all is work to get better comparisons with all of our neighbors on what we charge in all of these areas. And then I can also,
Great.
we've been comparing month by month this calendar year to last year, so we can give you a good point of reference on if business has picked up again, so to speak.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right.
Any other
Thank
questions?
y'all.
I was gonna say, any other questions of Ms. Pam or to
No,
the
I just want to say thank you to Pam and your staff for putting all this together. It's been good working with you. You made it easy for us, so thank you very much.
Thank you all. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again in early 2021.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Great.
Okay, the next on our agenda is for us to have an update on the beach parking fee study. I know Ed did a lot of work, and I think Paul joined in with him on that.
Yes.
I'll let Paul do the update.
Yeah, just to give an update, we have been gathering a lot of data. Anna has been extremely helpful in getting together a lot of that data and putting together a spreadsheet for us where we'll be kind of able to analyze the numbers. Right now, we're working off a beach parking study that was conducted in 2014, which studied the basically the 3 to 4 months of in-season, the high tourist season parking numbers based on cars that were from Glynn County, cars that were from in-state but out of county, and cars from out of state. So we have a handle on kind of what the situation was back then. We're trying to kind of, without having a new in-depth traffic study or parking study done, which I'm sure would be expensive, we're just trying to extrapolate how things have changed. We have had a significant increase in visitors to the island as compared to the county population. So we expect that the number of people coming in from out of town and visiting the beaches and parking in at Coast Guard and Massengale Park have increased since 2014. But I think we're getting fairly close to having our projections on revenue. I think we need to look into the costs a little bit more on some of the things. We're going to be working on that going forward. probably the next step in the process is we may circle around with Commissioner O'Quinn, just make sure we're kind of hitting all the things that he had hoped for. But that's kind of where things stand. Ed, you want to hop in and?
I think you've done a good job updating. Once we get some of the projections and Anna's helping us with that and the costs, we'll put those together in a spreadsheet and then have a call with David O'Quinn, Commissioner O'Quinn. Audrey, you're on mute.
Were we given a projection date for the beach fees to be implemented? A time frame?
When we talked with Commissioner Quinn, there was nothing specific. He'd rather, I believe, have all of the information to be able to present to the other commissioners, have it be pretty thorough. We weren't given a specific time frame for that, so we're in the process of working on it. I don't think it will take too much longer to get together the remaining information and kind of get a presentation together.
Okay, so the next, I asked because the next thing on our agenda. Say that, Ed.
I think there's a process after that. You have to have the county approved by the commission has to present an ordinance, parking ordinance that would then structure out
my concern was that the next thing on our agenda.
Study is it just?
The next thing on our agenda was for us to discuss the presentation to the commissioners. So my concern is, are we going to do the previous and do them all at one time?
Previous.
So when we go to the commissioner with our first presentation, it'd be the first 5 areas that we investigated the first year.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So, Ed and Paul, when we meet in September, do you think we'll be ready to present the beach parking fee at that time, or do we need to schedule it for October and meet the commissioners in September?
We'll need to meet with this committee again before presenting to the commission. So I would keep the beach parking fees separate from the other presentations, because we'll have to schedule that for a later date. That'll probably be more involved in that. The work session that we attend on that one may be more involved, just because of all of I expect there to be a lot more questions about this. So it may be worthwhile to keep the beach separate from the presentation on the other ones that we have ready to go so far.
Okay, so when we meet in September, we'll be putting together our presentation to present to the commissioners.
Good morning. This is Alan. So I think the appropriate format for you to present to the board is at what we call their work session, and their work session is usually the 3rd Tuesday of the month. So in September, their work session will be on the 15th, and it's normally at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then in October, their work session will be October 20th. So, just let me know if either of those dates work for you, and we can add you to the agenda. But if September 15th works, then we'll put you on the agenda. I just need to, sounds like maybe you need to meet another time before you present, but maybe not. But anyway, I think the board is ready for you.
I would vote for October the 20th to do the
right. I agree with
October
the 20th, because when we meet next month, we'll fine tune everything and get it ready for the PowerPoint presentation. So I I'm free for October the 20th.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else have any
Alan.
different?
That sounds good to me.
Ron?
All good with me.
All right. The majority rules. Okay. Anything else that we need to bring before us this morning? Thank you, Mr. Alves, for your
Maybe
input.
next week, Anna, Paul, and I can have a call.
Apologize. Say next week you may have a phone conversation with Anna.
Yeah. And maybe when you get to finalized, we can have a call, Paul and I and you next week at some point.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Great.
Are there any other items that we need to discuss before we adjourn? Or any clarification on anything before we adjourn?
And I think September 16th is our next meeting.
September is our next meeting.
September 16th, that's correct.
Thank you. September 16th.
Thank you.
If nothing else, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, county employees, Anna, Dana, and Mr. Al, and Pamela, very much for everything you've done. And Ms.
Yes,
Lawrence.
ma'am. We appreciate y'all very
Thank
much.
you. We do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.